Why working women over 40 are hospitalized. I want you to avoid this mistake. But first, we need to talk about some sobering, some staggering, some outlandish statistics. Okay. According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, women make up about 58% of the workforce. Now, I don't want you to miss that. That's really key. 58%, that's more than half, okay, of the workforce. So we face unique safety issues and health issues compared to our male counterparts, right? Such as higher incidence of harassment and violence in the workplace, work-related injuries like musculoskeletal issues such as carpal tunnel, strained, chronic back issues, neck issues, like all sorts of musculoskeletal issues. Of course, reproductive issues, that's very unique, right? Our male counterparts don't have to deal with that at all, particularly though if we're over 40. And women collectively experience this, but more specifically, women of color and women over 40. I want to drive that home. Okay, because of our drive and our strive for success and excellence, let's not even go there with Black excellence, okay, because that's on a whole other level, okay, in the relentless pursuit of happiness, in the relentless pursuit of our dreams. And despite our academic and professional achievements, we find that our businesses and professional lives are in a state of distress, because as we are in this pursuit of happiness, as we are trying to secure the bag and live the dream, the American dream and all of that, at what personal cost? So it's no surprise, right, that we women have higher stress levels and a faster burnout rate, and we need to take more time off. However, that is the problem right there. We are not taking the much needed, long overdue time off, right? The respite time that we need in order to regather, recoup, rejuvenate, revive, renew, re-energize, resuscitate any part of our lives. Because we can look alive and we can look like we've got it all together on the outside, but if on the inside we're crumbling and we feel like we're slowly dying, that is problematic, right? We are working ourselves literally. I don't just mean figuratively speaking, metaphorically speaking, literally working ourselves to death. And that's no joke. That's nothing to play around with, okay? Our health is declining. It is putting us in hospital beds, and it is putting us in an early grave. And that's what we're talking about in today's video. It's so important, okay? I am willing to say the things that not so many people are willing to talk about out loud. But before we jump into it, and in case we haven't met, hey there, Queen. So glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Whether you're new to me or true to me, welcome to my channel or welcome back, and welcome to the Resuscitation Room. If you are a high-achieving woman over 40, a woman of color, a woman of the LGBTQ plus community, and you are feeling the squeeze between success and satisfaction, I want to welcome you. This is your sanctuary, okay? I'm your new favorite coach and your biz bestie, Katrina Marie. Hey there. Also known as the Boss Chick Biz Coach and your fearless leader. I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness. Let me start over with that. I am a holistic business coach and RN health and wellness educator, and I am here to resuscitate your life and your legacy. I do that one of three ways. I help you to heal internally so that we can expedite your external success. I show you how to leave a career that is no longer serving you, okay, be it a toxic job or a hostile work environment or just a job that you've outgrown and you're ready to do more, okay? And I help or teach you how to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without sacrificing your soul and sanity or compromising your health and happiness. So if you are ready to design the life you dream of, desire, and deserve, and claim a life of peace, pleasure, power, and profits, then I invite you to stick around, click the notification bell, subscribe, okay? Click the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode whenever I go live and or drop a new video. Now, by the way, be sure to stay until the end. I always have a nice little perk or bonus for you. And today I'm going to give you a resource to teach you how to escape in 7 simple steps. this whole rat race thing, right? And away from all the strive for the excellence and all of this success in the way that you're doing it right now, that is keeping you in hustle mode, keeping you potentially stressed the hell out, burnt the hell out, and potentially hospitalized. We want to make sure that we're doing what we got to do to change the narrative. Okay. So let's get into it. As the saying goes, we are only as sick as our secrets, right? So can we just touch and agree to tell the truth and shame the devil today? Can we just do that? Okay. Again, here are some sobering, staggering stats. As if that wasn't enough that I already opened up this conversation sharing with you. According to the WHO, the World Health Organization, which is reported by APA, which is the American Psychological Association, as it relates to stress and burnout, 79% of women experience work-related stress. Okay, and I want to make sure I get these stats right, so I'm going to refer to my notes here. Three in every five. Okay, I just need that to simmer. 3 in every 5 women reported negative impacts of work-related stress. 26% had lack of interest and lack of motivation. Okay, 26%. 36% reported cognitive weariness. 32% reported emotional exhaustion. 44% reported physical chronic fatigue. My God, can we just take a breath right there and pause? Keep in mind that some of these occupations that they're referring to are more prone, more vulnerable than others, okay? So for example, those who work in healthcare, talking my doctors, my nurses, psychologists, social workers, right? Healthcare professionals of any type experience the highest, in conjunction with lawyers, attorneys, right? Finances, financial people, right? Financial experts and educational folks like teachers. Okay, first comes top of mind. I said social work. So, like these are some of the ones that have the highest stress level and the highest burnout rate. And I'm sure you can see why, right? And so I'm curious to know from you, do these stats surprise you? I mean, I'm serious. Do these stats surprise you? Because it's like, even though I'm in the field and I keep up with these trends and with these stats typically, they are always so astounding to me. And so I'm just interested to know your thoughts. Do these stats surprise you? I want you to share in the comments if this applies to you in your life or someone you know, someone that's close to you. Drop it in the comments right now. I also recorded a video that talks about why I personally chose to leave, right? Why I chose my health over the hustle. And that video is titled Beyond Survival. Beyond Survival, Thriving After Leaving a Toxic Job. I want you to be sure to watch that video right after this when I make some very heavy points in that video. This is a response video I did to the anti-HR lady, right? Anne Marie, where I give my perspective from the lens or the hat of, I change hats several times. It's an interesting video, something I haven't done before, but I really wanted to give my perspective from the lens of several hats, from the perspective of a nurse, from a leader, from a mental health advocate, a legal RN consultant, as well as a woman well over 40, and someone who has experienced stress and burnout, okay? So I've shared my story and my journey quite a few times, both on YouTube, on my channel here, and across all social media platforms, like a lot of times. But if you're new here, or perhaps it's been a while since you've heard, I just kind of want to take a little bit of a walk down memory lane really quickly here with you. I'm going to be sharing a very quick, abbreviated version of my story, but just, in a way where you might not have heard it like this before, or again, like I said, if you're new here, or you just want a refresher. Life life can be beautiful, right? But it can also be hard. Life is what I always describe to be like an emotional roller coaster ride that none of us are, all of us experience, right? None of us are exempt from, myself included. I am not exempt. Obviously, I'm human. But 2020 for me was a really, really rough time. Some people won in that era, so to speak, and some people did not so much win, right? For me, it was a very rough year. So I was hit below the belt, as I describe it. I like to refer to it as the dreaded D's. Okay, you might have heard me if you heard the kickoff of my live stream series for the Resuscitation Room. I go deeper into this, and you can check that out if you choose, but an abbreviated version again. Okay, but right in the midst of me launching a new program that my team and I worked like diligently on, tirelessly worked on for months, we finally came to a point where we can launch this thing, right? And we were actually having some great success at the very top of the year. However, I was hit by an unwanted divorce. After 25 years being in a long-term committed relationship, I just couldn't believe this would happen to me. Although I know and I believe in the philosophy and live by the mantra that the things that are happening in my life are happening for me, not to me. But at the time when you're in the midst of the storm, right, the eye of the storm, when it rains, it pours, right? It just feels like it is happening to you. And so also during that time, the official dissolution of our business partnership, that dissolved. I had to downsize from my beautiful lakefront property to a 1-bedroom apartment, which at that time, imagine being with someone for nearly 30 years. And then, this is the first time you actually are going backwards, where you are now living alone and you have all of these expenses on your own and you're having to figure out your life. So a 1-bedroom apartment from my lakefront property. The devastation of our nation hit, right? We all know what that is. We're now talking about COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody was in panic mode. We didn't know what the hell this thing was. Is this the end of the world? What is this disease? It's taking people out. What can we do? We're mandated to isolate. And it was crazy. It was madness. It felt insane, right? Then on top of that, I had a very dry season in business. That is an understatement. Okay, so much so that I actually ended up back in the workforce. That was not easy to accept after having been in business for a long time. That was not easy to, it was not easy to do. It was not even easy to find work, okay? And here I am, a nurse with 3 whole degrees, 30 plus years in corporate America, all of these accolades, certifications, the whole alphabet soup of credentials behind my name. It was very difficult for me, with even my experience, to find not just any job, okay, but one that would matter, one that, that would be something that if I got to go back in the workforce to do. And I'm not saying that I didn't need to eat humble pie, because clearly I did. But it was very difficult, right? But that's where I found myself, and having to go back into feeling like a hustle and grind to make the money, to make it I'm by myself. I have to pay for these expenses that I wasn't used to, right? I am drowning in debt, insurmountable debt that's just piling high. I was then discharged from this position, this job that I took on, that wasn't easy to find in the first place. That was 100% thankfully virtual. Even actually pre-COVID, I already had to make this decision. Okay. While I was still working my business full time, it was just, I can't even explain to you how devastating this was for me, right? Unexpected deaths in our family. Again, drowning in debt. There was a decline in my health with some chronic health issues that I had been experiencing. And so all of this stress just felt, it was just compounding the issues that I was experiencing, not to mention that I started experiencing bouts of depression and anxiety, right? And so at a time where I really felt like I was just at the brink of a nervous breakdown, seriously, like it, oh, only I can just put you in that position for a moment, but maybe I don't have to, because you might be there yourself right now, or perhaps experience this at some point in time in your life. Then you can relate, right? I truly needed to seek help from a therapist. I tried to get in touch with a therapist because I had started therapy, you know, a few years prior to that. And because I temporarily relocated from the West Coast to the East Coast, I stopped those therapy sessions and I never resumed that, because I had planned on this being a very temporary relocation, and then I was going to go back and resume therapy. So I tried to get in touch with my therapist, but like I said, COVID was happening and I really needed to speak to somebody. And the only person or people I can get in touch with were, of course, my immediate family. Because, you know, when you're going through something like this, especially when you are a successful person like I am, like I have been, like I've been all my life, when I work towards something, when I manifest something, when I work towards something, when I strive towards achieving something, it happens. And I did not understand why it was not happening for me. And so this was just God's way of telling me I needed a break. I needed to pause. I needed to regroup, rethink, and figure my life out, right? And so in the moment when it's happening, you can't see the why. You don't understand all of what's going on, right? It's in hindsight. And as they say, hindsight is 2020. That's when you really see why it all happened. So I couldn't get in touch with my therapist. I ended up talking to my mother, of course, my son. It's hard to sometimes talk to the person that you love, but you also are having issues with, right? And we can't see eye to eye. So that was difficult. I couldn't get in touch with my therapist. So now I'm talking to coaches who are, you know, experiencing some of the things to me. And I'm at the same time launching this program where I'm constantly hearing my story reflected back to me over and over and over again, some version of it by the women who were wanting to work with me. And I began to even doubt and question myself if I had the energy, the wherewithal, the capacity to really help these women, if I was attracting with my energy because of what I was going through. So it was just a whole hot mess. Okay. So during this time, I was desperately trying to save my business. I was desperately trying to save my relationship. I was desperately trying to save my finances and my life. Okay. So I know firsthand about stress and burnout. I know what that feels like. And by the grace of God, but God, only but God, I did not end up in the hospital. Thank God I did not end up in an early grave, okay? Because I made a single, solid, sound decision to do what most people haven't done, won't do, haven't considered doing, and that is I took a self-care sabbatical. For the first time ever, for a few months, I took off completely. And that literally changed and saved my life. So if any part of my story hits home, pulls on your heartstrings, resonates with you, share that with me in the comments, all right? Let me know what it is your scenario or your situation is or was, and what was your solution? For me, it was a self-care sabbatical. Also, I want to quickly remind you that every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, I invite you to join me, no cost to you, in the holistic strategy session with me, okay? It is a real opportunity for us to get a better chance to know each other, to get acquainted, for me to hear what some of your successes are, your struggles, you know, where you are in your life and business journey, and how I can best support you. I really and truly, sincerely, with my whole heart, invite you. It's a very informal, casual conversation. And so it's a time for us to just make the connection and talk about these things in a very private, intimate setting. So please do join me. The link is in the description below, okay? And by the way, if you've missed any of my previous live streams for this particular live stream show, go ahead and catch up in the resuscitation room. And the link is in this description below as well, okay? You can catch the replay to all of the sessions I've done previous to this one. But let's talk about preventative measures, okay? Speaking of solutions, in fact, I want to offer you some real advice on recognizing warning signs and taking proactive preventative measures, health measures, okay? So that you can avoid the mistake that so many women make. It's countless women. And you know what that is? Ignoring the signs of stress and burnout. Ignoring the signs of stress and burnout, which is why they end up in the ER, which is why they are being hospitalized. They're literally in hospital beds, right? I want to break down 2 phases. I want to make this really simple. There's the early phase and there's the late phase, okay? This is where I want you to write down what this looks like in case you didn't recognize it, or you know somebody that you can recognize through the symptoms that I described, or through, what I described to be early and late phases, and then you can have this conversation with them. Sharing is caring, right? If we know somebody aside from ourselves who's going through something very deep right now, similar to what I described, or something else altogether, whatever the case may be, please do make sure they get this message to them, okay? Get this message to them. So in the early phase, you may feel aware that something is off, but you may not be able to really quite place your finger on it, right? You may not be able to really pinpoint what that is. You just know something's off, like you're in tune and you're in touch with your heightened emotions. You know something ain't right. Like maybe all of a sudden you're feeling overly sensitive to things that didn't even matter before. Like usually you let it bounce right off your shoulders and all of a sudden you're in a whole frenzy about it, right? Maybe you're easily annoyed or irritated, or you're short-tempered, or you're feeling cynical, or you're just having all these weird mood swings and you don't even know why, but you keep making excuses for the behavior, like, oh, I'm just tired. I've been working myself like crazy, or I just need a break, or whatever. But you don't get down to the real nitty-gritty of what's going on underneath it all, right? Like what the underlying core issues are. You may even be experiencing brain fog or short-term memory, having a difficult time focusing or concentrating. You might even experience what is called the fight, flight, or freeze response, which it means that your body is preparing for the action or inaction that it is needing to take, right? So that means you either are going to confront the stressor, or you're going to run from it, or you're going to stand still in the moment and do nothing at all about it, okay? Stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, okay, are released in the body, which causes our emotions and our energy levels to fluctuate, which can increase the body's blood sugar and have a direct effect on our essential organs, such as the brain, the heart, our kidneys, right? The muscles. So that's the early phase, okay? In the late phase, and you can always pause this or go back and watch it again, okay, if I went too fast, but I want to just kind of drive the message home here. In the late phase, by this time, you've already allowed the stress and the toxins in your body to build up, okay? The energies, the body, the energy levels in your body, the energy wave in your body, right? That has all been depleted. It has depleted your defense mechanism. And your defense mechanism in this case is your white blood cell count. So your WBC count, or your white blood cell count, would be low, and now it's not able to fight off the infections that it's typically used to being able to fight off. So now your immune system is under attack, right? And is struggling to survive. It's struggling to fight off infections. You're having secondary symptoms as a result of this, right? So that could look like headaches, regular headaches, migraine headaches. I don't think any headache is considered regular or normal, but there are differences between the two. Muscle aches, joint pain, poor appetite, difficulty sleeping, your sleep patterns or sleep hygiene is off. These are all problematic, right? You're emotionally impacted, right? So you may be experiencing an emotional state of distress where, you become moody, you become, like I said, cynical. Simple tasks can suddenly feel overwhelming. All of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I got to do all of this. Like it's not even that serious, but you're just having a whole meltdown about it, right? Your emotions are just like spiraling out of control and you can't even explain it. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. You're like, damn, am I bipolar? I'm manic, then I'm depressed, I'm happy, then I'm sad, I'm laughing, then I'm crying. Like, what the hell is going on? Right? Now, if you're over, if you're in your perimenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal years, then that can have something to do with it too. But I'm just saying, like, your emotions, for whatever reason, and all the reasons, spiraling out of control. You also can get to a point of where you are isolating and withdrawing, right? So you're no longer having interest in doing the things that bring you joy. You don't have the desire to do the things that make you happy. You don't want to be around people. You don't feel motivated to do anything. You just have this huge lack of energy. You find like the things that you used to find satisfaction in, you no longer do. Like now you have a temporary satisfaction, and you find that in things like food, binging food, right? Maybe you're not even eating what you should. Maybe you're under eating instead of overeating, right? Or you're an emotional eater. Either way, it has to do with how your emotions are showing up, right? Alcohol, sex. I'm not talking about just, your usual regular routine of those activities. I'm saying it's like those things. You're watching TV excessively, you're watching porn excessively, right? You're having sex over the top, maybe not even monogamous. In a monogamous relationship, maybe you're a little bit promiscuous now. Like whatever the case may be, drugs, alcohol, other guilty pleasures, you're overdoing it, because what you're really doing is medicating the problem. You're really medicating the pain. You're really trying to disguise and mask the emptiness that you're feeling. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what shows up. And then balancing your life and other obligations. For example, like this can really become a problem. This can make it feel like a chore. All of a sudden, you go from feeling like Superwoman to feeling like the underdog, right? You used to be like beating on your chest and wearing the S on your chest proudly, right? You used to wear the work hard and hustle hard, or, I'm a hard worker, or whatever title around that on your sleeve, like a badge of honor. And now you're just over it, like whatever. You know what I mean? So you may recognize that you need support. Like you may be aware of the problem, but not necessarily the solution, right? Or maybe you are even aware of the solution, but you're not really necessarily thinking about what that is, or you don't know where to find it. But you do know you want to engage in social activities. You know that you want to do the things that bring you joy, that bring you pleasure, but you just don't even. It would be a heavy lift for you because it requires energy that you don't have, right? So when you are navigating this phase, practicing healthy coping skills or healthy coping mechanisms is really what is going to help you gradually regain increased energy, right? A happier mood, improve sleep, better a good appetite, and the desire to want more out of life instead of allowing life to get more out of you. Okay? When I tell you that a self-care sabbatical literally changed and saved my life, I mean it. I do. And it can save yours too. If you are ready to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business while putting your health, healing, and happiness first, you are numero uno. If you need to take a career break or a sabbatical, if you need some respite time, you just don't think you can afford it, or you don't know the steps to take, or you don't exactly know how to do it, but you're at a breaking point. You feel like you're having a meltdown. You can't explain your heightened emotions. You just don't know what the hell is going on, but you know you need a solution. I got the solution for you. And what that is I want you to watch my free training where I break that all the way down. I dive deep into exactly how to do just that, okay? The link is in the description below. And if you've gotten value from my video today, again, please do share. Make sure we get my message in front of more people so we can make a bigger impact for the people who need to hear this very important message so they too can save their lives, right? People often say, I know we always say, nobody's coming to save you. We've got to rescue ourselves. And that is true. I wholeheartedly believe that. But I also believe that when somebody is literally throwing you a lifeline like I am right now, girl, grab on, hold on tight and don't let go. Let them reel you into safety and equip you with the tools, the resources, and everything that you need right now to, again, revive your business, revive, renew any aspect of your life, literally resuscitating every aspect of who you are. Whatever it is, like I said, that is flatlining right now, I am throwing you a lifeline and I just need you to take it. That's it. That's all the energy I need you to have is just come towards me, meet me halfway so we both don't drown together, because I am showing up to help save you. Okay? So that's all I got for you today. That's my time. I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure, again, if you've gotten value from this video, to like, comment, subscribe, share, save this video, come back and watch it again as many times as you need to, okay? Again, sharing is caring. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.